So, hey guys, my name's Emily,
And I'm Eddie.
and we're gonna go over the brain. So, this is how it looks like in the inside. It's a side view. And, hold on, I'll put it together. So, this is the brain, okay, and we're going through the sections. So, there's 4, and it's the frontal lobe, the temporal lobe, the parietal lobe, and the occipital lobe. The frontal lobe is front.
Yes.
Front. Always look at the front of the brain. Right? So the parietal lobe is like a little bit behind the frontal lobe. It's like right there. It's like in the in-between. Like in-between area. Okay? And then the temporal lobes are on the sides. Because they associate with hearing. So temporal lobes. It's the back. See the brainstem. It's falling apart, but don't mind that. Is the occipital lobe, and it's for. So for remembering the parts of the brain, it's FTPO, and it's Freud for frontal, Torres for temporal, pants for parietal, off. I know it's weird. Why would Freud tear his pants off? But hey, I hope you remember. So FTPO, Freud tore his pants off. The first brain part we're going to go over is the hippocampus. Hippocampus. It is involved with memory. So,
In this word, you kind of hear the word compass at the end, so hippocampus. So the mnemonic hint for hippocampus is you need a compass when you can't recall how to get home.
home. So, campus, compass, same thing. Amygdala is involved with your fear, like, amygdala. Anyway, and so just try to picture something scary, like wig, like an ugly wig, like Medusa or something. It's just snakes. So, the thalamus. Go ahead, that's you.
Oh, the thalamus relays information from the body to different areas of the brain for processing. So picture 2 guys, Hal and Amos, as traffic cops in your brain directing signals to and from.
He's like our switchboard.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is the cerebellum, and it's for your balance. So try to picture like a tight walker with bells, like cerebellum, and like he's trying to keep his balance. It's cool.
Next is the hypothalamus. This regulates many of the body's metabolic processes, thirst, hunger, and body temperature. Use hypothalamus as your mnemonic. Picture a hypo, or a needle, spraying 2 thirsty llamas with water to quench their thirst and cool them down.
So the pons is the part of the brain that regulates waking and relaxing. So put a D at the end, like a pond, and think of like relaxing animals, flower, nature.
Also, there's reticular formation. The reticular formation is involved in motivation and alertness. Use tickle as your mnemonic. If you were asleep and someone tickled you, your reticular formation would wake you up.
The medulla regulates the autonomic activity of the heart and lungs. So like makes it automatic. So, use metals as your mnemonic and stick the metals in a bloody heart and lungs. Or picture an Olympic athlete wearing gold medals around her neck and covering her heart and lungs. So, like, medulla, automatic, boom, heart.
And a good mnemonic for these parts of the brainstem is Pavlov's really frickin' mad. So, Pavlov's PE pons really are reticular. Frickin' formation, and mad medulla.
Oh my god.
Next, we're going to go over the brain and its hemispheres.
As you can see, we have the cerebral cortex. This is like the outer covering of the
Brain.
The brain. So think of it as like a hat covering the brain.
So the pineal gland secretes melatonin. Use pins and needles and a melon as a mnemonic. Next is the corpus callosum. The corpus callosum connects the 2 hemispheres, thus the corpus callosum. It is through the corpus callosum that the 2 hemispheres communicate. Thus, you should also picture corpus callosum 1
Hi, my name's Okay, so Broca's area is the area of the brain responsible for producing speech. If it is damaged, you can understand what someone says, but
Next is Wernicke's area. This area is responsible for the comprehension of speech. So if you have an aphasia in this area of the brain, you are unable to understand and respond to what people are saying to you. So, in other words, Wernicke's comprehension is crappy.
In this video, we are going to be constructing the neuron. The neuron is the basic building block of the nervous system. The first thing you see is the soma. The soma is the cell body, which is the cell's life support center. Next, you will be seeing the dendrites, which receive messages from other cells, and these messages are the neurotransmitters, which would be drawn in red as little dots. The next thing we drew is the axon. This passes its messages away from the cell body to other neuron muscles or glands. Covering the axon is the myelin sheath. This covers the axon of some neurons and helps speed up neural impulses. In the green is the terminal branches. This forms junctions with other cells. The purple object is the terminal feet. Once the messages carry through the axon, it reaches the terminal feet, which sends it off to other somas. In between the other soma and the terminal feet is a space called the synapse. It gets really close together, but it doesn't touch. Action potential is a brief electrical charge that travels down a neuron's axon. Now we're going to give you more insight into neurotransmitters. They are chemical messengers that cross the synaptic gaps between neurons. The first neurotransmitter I drew was dopamine, which is represented as the blue stars. This involves voluntary movement, learning and memory, and emotions. Too much of dopamine can cause schizophrenia, and too little can cause Parkinson's disease. Cocaine mimics the effects of this neurotransmitter. The next neurotransmitter you'll see is the green heart, which represents serotonin. This involves with sleep and emotions. Too little of serotonin can cause depression. Ecstasy and LSD can mimic the effects of serotonin. The last neurotransmitter you'll see is norepinephrine, which is represented by the plus signs. It increases the heart rate and it is involved in learning and memory and eating. Too little of norepinephrine can cause depression.